Hey everybody, welcome back to Global Conflict TCG. Ryan here with you. So this is take number 4 of Devlog 7. Take 3 was supposed to be it, but my microphone was not working. Go figures. So welcome back to Global Conflict. Appreciate you guys watching the devlogs if you have been watching them. If not, go ahead and go back and see how this whole thing came together. But let me tell you guys, from where I left off, I had finished startup manager for player number 1. I since then have been working on the startup manager for player 2, which is going to be the AI. The AI, it's alive. So what I can tell you is player 2 AI startup manager is donezo. We are done. No time wasted. So it's alive. The AI manager is working. Let's quit talking. Take a look at it. So right now, actually, let me do this first. So let me put some different units in here, because right now I have all CAC units, which is no fun. So let's go ahead and add some other ones. Make it a little bit more interesting. There we go. Put some UAFs. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's put one more NHA. One more UAF. And then we're going to add some, put a majors orders. An airdrop. I took all these cards out. I was doing some testing. And a refinery. We'll put that. Okay. Right there. All right. We're set. Let's go ahead and quit yapping. Click play. You're going to see the coin flip. You're going to see the whole complete entire startup process from start to finish. Load it up. So the coin flip, it's going to be random. It's going to pick a random player. If it picks me, which is player 1, then I'll get a choice to go first or second. If it picks the AI, they will randomly pick to go first or second. So the AI won the coin toss, and they elected to go second. All right, so I'm going first. Got a little bit of shuffle deck audio there. Now we're going to draw some cards. I have some basics, so that's good news. No mulligans for us. All right. And let's see. So choose up the 2 basics. So I will do that. I'll go ahead and put 1. Actually, I'm going to bypass this. I'm going to click done, and we'll come. So you only have to put 1 basic unit at most. You can put 2 if you want, but 1 is required. So I'll click done. Now it's telling me I can put up to 4 basic units on my base, and I only have 3, so I'll put 3. There we go. And when I'm done, go ahead and click the done button. Done. So now the AI is taking over. They're going to put their cards, and bam, man, they had 6 basics. Holy cow. Yeah, they're loaded up. Look at that. So they got 2 UAFs, 2 CACs, 2 NHAs. Man, it's going to be a tough fight. But yeah, at this point, the startup process is done. So player 2 startup is complete. Player 1 startup is complete. And at this point, if we had a turn manager built, this is where the turn manager would get its event signal and would take over the game. And since it said player 1 is going to go first, I would be prompted next I would draw a card, and then I would go ahead and play whatever cards I can from my hand. So that is that. The startup process is done. And so what does it look like? So here's the player 1 startup manager. I think you guys have seen this before from my previous videos, but this is the entire startup manager for player 1, which is a human player. I've added some variables in here just to manage like the kind of the talking between the 2 startup managers, between player 1 and player 2. All of that has been pretty much handled, but let's take a look at player 2 startup manager. And let's go ahead and start with the manager first. So we'll zoom out. This is player 2 startup manager, the very first like node of it, where it's going to draw cards, check for mulligans, load the prize cards, do all that kind of stuff. And then at the very end, these actions here, it's going to go back to that coin flip manager, find out the player that was find the player that's going to go first, and do a string contains. If player 1 is going first, then player 2 is going to sit and wait for player 1 to finish setting up their side of the board with these bool variables. If it's player 2 going first, then what's going to happen is this player 2 manager is just going to go ahead and send an event to a decision tree component, which I have built. This decision tree is really the second part of the startup manager for player 2, which is the AI. And it really is a decision tree. It is massive. Check this thing out. These are all the steps or all the different possibilities of units to select to put on your playing field or for the AI. The way I do this is pretty simple, just using a get next child. So we're looking at every card in the hand. We're the very first. So when the AI is selecting their first card, they're actually not going to look to see how many basic units they have in their hand. What they're going to do is look to see how many ammo cards they have. And depending on how many ammo cards, by taking count and then doing some int compares, we'll know how many ammo cards we have in hand. And depending on how many ammo cards, we'll determine which branch of the tree in decision making that the AI will go down. And then there's these actions here is pretty much just a hierarchy of unit cards to play. So if they have a CAC light infantry, we'll play that first. If not, then we'll do a UAF. If not that, then we'll do an SAA and then an NHA. So just setting a hierarchy of like preferred cards to play depending on how many ammos they have in hand. So that's how I did that. And then once that first unit is set on the active spot, it'll go to the second leg here, and it's going to look in its hand again, and it's going to look for more basic units to see if there are more units to play. If it does find more basic units, depending on how many basic units are in the hand, it'll decide to either play that second unit in the second active spot, or it may not. I actually have a random bull in there that might tell it, so well, we only have one other unit. I don't want to play that into the second active spot. I'll save it to put on the base, which is legal. So that's without getting like too deep into the weeds. That's what it's doing. It's looking to see how many basic units it has and deciding if it wants to play those basic units or not. And then on this last leg here, at the very, very back, all back here, this is determining if we're going to put units on the base or not. It'll go through this whole progression, see how many units it has to play. If it has 4, less than 4, or more than 4, we'll go down different decision trees as far as which units to play, when to play them, where to play them, things like that. As far as setting the positions, so we're just doing or looking for cards in the hand, really. We're doing find child actions, looking for specific string values of game objects. Once we find those, we'll save them as variables, do string contains to check to see if they have these units or not in hand. If they don't, or if they do, then they'll go ahead and get the position of the player 2 base, set that position to the card, get the child of the card, which is the card back that we're looking for. We'll deactivate the card back so that way you're able to see the face of the card. And then go from there, and then we'll reset the parent to the player 2 base, and then that's how they pop up on the screen and they lock into place. So that's all that is really. It's it looks crazy, like it looks more intimidating than it really is. Like it's just they're just loops to count how many cards we have in hand or what type of cards we have in hand, and then it's just trees looking for those cards, and if we have them, then we'll go ahead and reset their position. That's it. This is pretty rudimentary in my opinion right now. It's not doing a whole lot other than looking at ammos and things like that. But I could definitely see as I start building AI trees for the turn manager and things like that, for more difficult AI opponents, I'm going to add way more variables in these trees and give it more information to make decisions with, which should in turn make it harder. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be building those on these devlogs for sure. But yeah, so the AI is done, for the startup process at least, the AI is done. So let's go ahead and take a look at it one more time. Fire it up. Let's see what we get. Yeah, this is pretty fun. I'll be honest, like doing the AI kind of stuff I think it's actually really fun. Like I don't have to watch other YouTube videos or learn a whole lot anyways for this kind of stuff. It's all just like intuitive. Which makes it really fun. So it looks like I'm going second. The AI said, nope, I'm going first. So we are shuffling cards. Then we're going to draw some cards. And, I I got 1 basic, 2 basics, 3. All right, load in our prizes. Then the AI is going to do its thing. And that's it. They got 2 cards. And you can see here, like I talked about in that decision tree, so the AI only had 2 basic units in its hand. And so it had a decision to make to decide whether it wanted to put this NHA card in the second active spot or it wanted to put it on the base. And so you can see it made that decision, decided to put it on the base instead. So in the decision tree, like I could see in the future, I could have the AI make this kind of decision depending on, like, if it has a stage 1 card that it can promote to, then it might want to hold 1 unit back on the base so it could promote it. So pretty cool to see it in action, really. So we'll go ahead and play our hand. I'll go ahead and load up a second unit, and then now it's telling me to load units on my base. I will do that. Now I'm done, and I'll click done, and the startup process is complete. That is it. At this point, the turn manager would start up, and the game would be going. So pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoy this kind of stuff. This AI stuff and just building logic is really, really cool. I find it really interesting. I definitely foresee like doing more of this and building like a nice single player campaign where you pick your faction deck and then you kind of go on this like global conquest to dominate the world with your faction, getting cards and booster packs along the way. I think it'd be really cool. Playing different, varying difficulty of AIs along the way, which would be awesome. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch me on Devlog 8. I'm going to be working on the turn manager next. And I'll go through the entire process of how that turn manager cycles between the 2 players, and we'll go over all that kind of stuff. How to attack, how to heal, you name it, we're probably going to do it. So, all right, we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.